Hello everybody, this is Orange Ronin Sorax, and welcome to my second reaction video. Yay! I'm not actually going to clap because that'll get picked up on my mic. If you also see me looking down, it's because I'm checking to make sure that my screen capture is working. But I am going to be reacting to the second episode of the first season of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 animated series. I had a very good time watching the first episode last week. I did have to, unfortunately, re-record my reaction. If you wanted to learn a little bit more about why I had to re-record my reaction, go and watch the first episode because I explained it a little bit more there. But I promised that this intro was going to be a little bit shorter so that I'm not taking up all of your guys' time and we can jump right into the reaction. But today's episode, I didn't even check to see what it was called. I prefer kind of going in blind a little bit just because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, and even just reading the synopsis, I would probably spoil stuff. Curse of being a writer, where you can kind of pick up hints, and it's a 1980s cartoon. They're not exactly the most in-depth thing ever. I'm sure that there probably were some that were created in the 1980s that had some depth to them, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1980s were supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be loving and joyful and good guys, so I don't really expect it to be all that deep. I do expect them to get into some shenanigans. I expect probably April to get into some sort of trouble that the turtles have to rescue her from because, you know, tropes from the 80s. Because she's a lady, she's gonna get in trouble. Your boy ain't really down for those types of tropes anymore because they're just not okay. I feel that they're very sexist, but what do you do? But hopefully, with the types of shenanigans that these turtles can get into, who knows? Maybe it'll be April rescuing them, because I think that's actually happened in one of the episodes. I can't quite remember. Like I said in my first video, I've seen a handful of the 1980s episodes. I haven't seen them all, which is why I would like to go in and react to them because it's my favorite franchise, and I think it's only fair to see what kind of got the ball rolling for the animated series that has been referenced quite a few times in, like, my favorite one, the 2003, and definitely in the 2012. They took a lot of inspiration from that one to make it a little bit more goofy. But I digress. Why don't we hop right into the reaction, and we will be able to see just what the turtles get themselves into today. Theme song will always slap. Enter the Shredder. Interesting. So we're going to introduce the Shredder this time around. Aw, they're sleeping. How cute. Aw, look at them. Aw. Aw.
Ease off, April. We had a rough night.
I'm not doing a thing till we eat some serious breakfast.
And we don't
Num num
eat
num.
until we practice.
Aw. Interesting, okay. Fighting seems a little bit smoother than the first episode.
Don't lose your patience.
Oops. Well. Yikes. Oof. Owie.
I'd say you just got smoked, Michelangelo.
Indeed. Michelangelo has much to learn about patience.
Are we going somewhere?
Don't you remember that
Aw.
big compound that was under the ninjas' headquarters? That big technodrome thingamajig? We've got to check it out. It's my only hope of getting a story out of all this craziness.
Interesting. Why is Mikey in the water? Interesting.
Funny, we don't get much rain here in the sewers.
It's not rain. It's water from last night's flood.
Come on, we
Oof.
must be almost there. It should be
Could you imagine how gross that water is?
here?
So nasty.
You know, how a hot dog stand would clean up in a place like this.
See? There's the foundation of the building that flooded. I mean, where could a vast subterranean compound go down here?
That way!
Probably in the big
What
hole
a
that Michelangelo
story!
found.
Come
Yeah.
on, we've got to follow it.
Wait, we must tell Master Splinter about this.
Or not. Oh, okay. I thought that was just coming out of the walls towards them.
I don't believe it! My mighty foot soldiers beaten by a bunch of turtles?
Talking
And
turtles.
mutant turtles at that!
What's wrong with that?
This is Krang. Report to me at once.
We're on the run, and that idiot wants to chit-chat.
Well, I mean,
Well, what is it?
Ah, Saki, my old friend.
I told you.
ugh.
Call me the Shredder.
You
Ew,
would
I don't like
be
his
shredding
tentacle thing.
anything if it worked for me. I have given you vast technical knowledge, but you have not fulfilled your half of the bargain. My legions are waiting
Ew.
in Dimension X
I forgot.
to storm
Oh.
into this world.
I
and
thought the
crush
2012 version was gross.
all I lack is a body.
I didn't mean to freeze out of that, but oh, I honestly thought that the 2012 version of Krang were disgusting looking. Same with like Mutants in Manhattan, which is one of my favorite video games for the TMNT franchise. I thought they looked gross, but I don't know, just the way that he moves is so icky. Like, I would want to only poke him with a stick. I would not want to touch that brain blob. Ugh. Yeah, no. Uh-uh. Ugh. Not okay. Not okay.
A body which you have failed to provide for me. With the body I've designed, no force on Earth could stop me.
A
Including
man baby?
myself. That's why I don't trust you, Krang.
And if I gave you
Ew,
a
he's
means
so
of
veiny.
defeating your enemies, then would you trust me?
Possibly. But first, tell me how to defeat the turtles.
You were the one who tried to destroy Yoshi with that mutagen, but instead he gained the powers of the rats. But
How do you know?
suppose
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yoshi
clap in
had
the mic,
to
but how did
lure
you
more
know?
powerful animals.
Mutate my own people. The possibilities are endless. All I need are animals. Killers! That's quite a brain you've got, Krang.
Of course it is. It's all I've got.
Ew.
You saw the ninja's leader in that underground compound last night.
Yes, Master Splinter.
And now the compound has vanished without a trace. I fear my ancient enemy Orokusaki still lives.
Ancient.
And I must join you in the search
Ancient.
for this.
Ancient. I mean, I feel like that's exaggerating a little bit. Both of you are probably like Yoshi is probably, since he was like the head of a clan, I don't see him being more than in his like mid 40s. And I don't see Saki being all that much younger, probably mid 30s, early 40s. So that's not really an ancient enemy. Yoshi's not out here, Splinter's not out here being like 1,000 years old, which would be a cool concept, him being like a super old being and pulling a 2003 where the Shredder is some sort of uh Utram or Krang type creature, so he also lives forever. So like that would be a cool concept. But like I just feel like it's exaggerating a little bit on my ancient enemy has returned. And first of all, one, how did Shredder know that Yoshi was in the sewers? Two, how did he know that Yoshi had turtles? Three, how did he even know that Yoshi was able to touch the mutagen to be able to turn into a rat? Like, how does he know any of that? Ah, like, at least show us how he figured that stuff out. Yeah, he has cameras and stuff down in the sewers, but I doubt that, like, I don't know, maybe show us a flashback of like him having cameras in the sewers and then seeing him walking the turtles around in the sewers and him being like, oh my God, he lives. But just like, how did he know he was in New York? Because apparently he fled to New York. So, like, how did he know that he was there? How did his, sorry, I just cracked my finger. How did he, like, know to drop his mutagen right there and that Yoshi would step in it? Because it seems like he purposely, like, targeted the turtles so that Yoshi would step in it. But how did he know that Yoshi had turtles in the first place? My writer brain is just like, I want to fix these little holes and hopefully maybe they'll explain it in the next 3 episodes because I think this season only has 5. But like, my writer brain wants to fix all of these plot holes and I can't. I just can't because I don't have the ability to. I mean, I could totally rewrite the scripts and stuff, but like, what's that gonna do for me? Me just rewriting the scripts for my own amusement, and that's it. Because I don't ever foresee me ever being able to get a job to be able to do stuff like that, which is unfortunate because, that would be my dream job, is to write a comic or write a script for like a cartoon or a comic, specifically like becoming one for my favorite franchise. But I don't live in the right area. I don't have the funds for it because script writing is very expensive. I also don't have the time. So, like,
That isn't a job for us. It's a job for the Department of Sewers.
Oroku Saki is the most cunning and dangerous man I know.
Maybe there's been some word on just where the Technodrome went.
I doubt that.
Quickly, our adversary already has a head start on us.
Head start? We're gonna need sonar to find this geek.
Relax, Raphael. We've got Splinter leading us now.
Yeah, Splinter will find him just like sniffing out a rat. A weasel.
Interesting. Oh, puppy. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh. A wild boar. Okay. Oh, puppy. And a rhino. I know exactly what they're going to be used for. I am surprised that he didn't go for like a lion or a tiger or maybe even a bear. No, he went for an omnivore and a herbivore. At least they're polite.
Oh, still no sign of the Technodrome. Where's Tarzan when we need him?
What's Tarzan gonna do?
Check this out.
Well, you got your Tarzan.
This way, I believe.
That
Cute.
rock is freshly drilled. And look at the size of those tank treads.
Well, that dude's driving Shea Stadium around under the city.
Chase Stadium.
This could put a serious crimp in our plans.
Head upward, my sons. Find some way around all
he called them my sons. I Oh my God. I didn't think, I never thought that this version of Splinter ever called them my sons. Because one of the episodes that I have seen was, I don't remember exactly which one it was called, but Leo and Mikey get turned into turtle tots. And they called Splinter Uncle Splinter. So, like, obviously there's already a disconnect there that, like, not a father figure. But also, like, all the clips that I have seen that has featured Splinter in them, or the 4 episodes that I have seen, he's only ever called them my student. But here, literally in the second episode, he didn't do it in the first one, but here in the second episode, he calls them my sons. So obviously, they were going to go down that route that, like, Splinter was a father figure for them. So why in some of the later episodes they only strictly have him call them my students, and why in that particular episode where they could have called Splinter father or Papa Splinter or something like father figure like, they went with the route of Uncle Splinter. He literally just called them my sons. I cannot express how, like, happy that makes me feel, but also how, like, disappointing if that's actually what happened. Because they had such an opportunity in the Turtle Tot episode for him to be a more father-like figure for them, but instead he wasn't even shown in that episode at all. And they had him get called Uncle Splinter. Oh, the missed opportunity. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of Splinter being that father figure for them. He was that father figure in the comics. He's the father figure in all the other iterations that I've seen and read. And it just makes sense, specifically since, like, this specific version of Splinter is a human. So I could see it where, like, especially if, like, they're babies and they got into the mutagen and he wanted to raise them as his own, specifically calling them my sons, that, like, there'd be some sort of attachment there. Like, I can understand in the 2003 where they don't really call their Splinter father all that often, but that's because, like, to me, that Splinter and the OG Splinter were specifically, they were rats. They were Hamata Yoshi's rat, his pet rat. So, like, they wouldn't have the same complete understanding of what, like, a father figure was. They would still know, obviously, but, like, they wouldn't have the same attachment to being called father like someone who had been a human turned rat would have, because obviously they would have seen it in the media, they would have seen it in, like, other people saying it. Possibly, if they weren't an orphan, they would also have that type of figure in their life. So it's just like, well, as an orphan, you can also have that type of figure in your life, obviously. But, like, I don't know. It just, when it comes to, like, the human Splinter versus rat Splinter, and I'm saying that as in, like, Hamata Yoshi getting turned into Splinter compared to his pet rat getting turned into Splinter. It's just so, like, it's far more understandable for the Rat Splinter to not really get called father compared to the human Splinter not getting called father. Because to me, it was always kind of weird that, like, in the 2012, that specific Splinter had his own sons who he treated as sons. He named, he would call his sons, he would call them his children, have them specifically calling him sensei. And I get it, like, maybe it's just like something that they grew up with, but like, I don't remember. I have a hard time remembering a single episode where the turtle specifically called him father or papa. I think Michelangelo does call him papa in the 2012 at one point. But like in the 5th season, when Splinter was telling the Turtle Tots the story of how he found them, they still called him Sensei or Master Splinter. And to me, that's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of like disconnect there, specifically when he's telling such an intimate story about like how he found them, how they got mutated, how they were hiding from the Krang. This one is a little bit more understandable just because like he was head of a clan. Supposedly these turtles were slightly older when they got mutated, so like it would just be more understandable for him to be like, my name is Master Splinter, and Master Splinter helps teach them the language, helps train them, obviously. He goes, I'm Master Splinter, and I shall be your father from now on. Since the turtles don't understand the concept of what a father might be, there might be a disconnect there. That's just diving further into it. I'm rambling on because I just really like that concept. And to have this specific Splinter when I didn't think he ever said that phrase to the turtles, it just made my heart happy. Okay, I'm just very happy right now. I don't know if you could tell when he said it in my reaction, I was just very happy. Okay, well, I'm done rambling.
I'll try to.
I'm actually gonna go back a little bit because I want to hear it again.
The drill. And look at the size of those tank treads.
Well, that dude's driving Shea Stadium around under the city.
This could put a serious crimp in our plans.
Head upward, my sons. Find some way around all this. I'll try to get through somehow.
Through that?
Oh, we rats can burrow through anything.
I mean, he's not wrong. Rats have been known to chew through metal, so like.
Oh, no, wait, not me.
Yeah, we don't volunteer for nothing.
I need 2 of you for an experiment.
Forget it.
It will enable you to get even with the 4 turtles who so recently humiliated you.
Where do I sign?
Ah, but I only need 2 volunteers. Just sit.
I called it. I knew exactly who these 2 were going to
I wish
become.
I'd brought some comics.
Oh, that was so fast.
What you doing to us, man?
Just relax.
You sure this is gonna give us all them powers you promised us, man?
Absolutely. Of course, you may have a little trouble.
So I will say, Bebop and Rocksteady weren't really introduced, as far as my knowledge goes, of the 2003. Rocksteady and Bebop were not introduced. Spoiler, that's who these 2 are going to get turned into. The 2003 did not have a version of Rocksteady and Bebop. The 2012, however, did. I like the parallels that I'm seeing in this with the 2012, but I think I kind of like the 2012 version a little bit better just because, I don't know, it kind of felt like these guys here don't really seem to see the Shredder as like an employer or anything. he also doesn't get the same respect that the 2012 Shredder seemed to have gotten from his lackeys. And the reason why the Bebop and Rocksteady in the 2012 got mutated was because they were adversaries of the Shredder. And the only reason that they ended up working for the Shredder is because they got mutated. And because they got mutated, they couldn't exactly go out into society and mingle with people because, you know, one was a giant warthog and the other one was a giant rhino. So it became a little difficult. Just a little bit. This one, I mean, I guess it would be kind of a nice motivator for them to be able to kick the turtle's shell. Voice crack, apologies. But like, why did, if he knew that he had more than 2 lackeys, why did he only grab 2 animals? Why didn't he grab them all? And maybe that will be explained in this, and maybe we'll figure out, like, maybe the other 2 do get turned into animals. I don't know. I just really liked the parallel that I was seeing.
Getting a date on Saturday night.
Here, I'm going to go back a little bit.
Absolutely. Of course, you may have a little trouble getting a date on Saturday night.
Yeah, probably. Just believe it.
Donatello, you sure this is getting us anywhere?
Of course, every tunnel leads somewhere.
You picked a heck of a time to become a philosopher.
Now everybody be quiet. We don't want to make a disturbance.
Oh, you don't want to make a disturbance.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, you don't want to make a disturbance, but they're going to choose a manhole cover in the middle of the street in the daytime.
And I thought the sewers were bad.
Oof.
Now that's what I call a serious pizza.
Channel 6. Isn't that the station where April works?
3 days, you big guy.
I feel like Leo's voice actor is different, but maybe he's just like trying a different voice.
On April. And what do you bring me? Zips. Somebody robbed the zoo 2 hours ago. The police report's in the wire room.
A zoo robbery? Aw, come on.
Why would you not be excited about that? Yes, I understand that her thing is a little bit more exciting, but like, it's not every day somebody robs a zoo. So like, that would be pretty big news. Specifically the 2 animals that got taken. So like, I don't know. I feel like all the reporters that I had worked with when I was doing news stuff was just like, they would have been ecstatic to be able to cover a news story like that. Just saying.
Now, April.
I get yelled at. I get scooped on my story. I nearly get fired. All on account of those turtles.
I feel like that's being a little harsh. Just because, like, she technically could have left at any time to, like, return to work. She obviously could have gone to a phone booth and explained to her boss what was going on. And what happened to, like, she made a phone call in the first episode. So, like, what happened to the person that she was calling? And why didn't they mention to her boss, hey, I think April just got kidnapped? Still, she can't blame everything on the turtles because, like, she was the one who literally mentioned that she was going to, like, tell the world about them. Oh my god.
Give me a break, guys. They were stolen by a couple of robots who dragged them underground.
Robots? Well, come on, let's boogaloo!
Oh, so dated. But that's okay. I love that language. Oh, Sensei found it.
Alright, buddy, just come along peacefully. Don't make
wonder... Oh, well, sorry, Sensei.
If this hole caves in, we can dig our way out. You can't.
Yeah, we know how to handle ourselves in the sewer.
Oh, my... Oh, bye.
Oh, man, that was a short trip.
Master Splinter's walking stick.
If you want to see him again, you'll have to come in.
It's gotta be a trap.
I hate it when he says that.
Don't ask questions. Just get a camera crew down here now. What do you mean I gotta have a story first? This is the story.
You get the feeling somebody has it in for us?
Maybe. Just a little
So
bit.
how do we get out?
There is no way out.
Well, that's kind of a defeatist attitude, don't you think? What about that?
It could take hours to crack the code.
Try 15 seconds, chum.
Leonardo, cut it open.
Well, I feel like a marshmallow in a nutcracker.
Oh, nice mouth
Take your
thinking.
time, why don't you? Lights out.
So long, guys. Hey, right is when you hit bottom.
Cute.
You think they want to mix it up with us?
If they do, I don't like the odds.
Yeah, we were trained to fight people, not can openers.
So, like, what do we do?
You and Raphael cut around to either side. Donatello, try to get to their rear.
And what will you do, Leonardo?
Okay, his voice actor didn't change. His voice just sounded funny there for a second.
Well, somebody's got to take the middle. Attack!
What? Rude, dude.
Oops. That's kind of a cool shot. I like that.
Turtles fight with honor!
Taste cold steel. Get funky.
Our rear flank's cut
Helpful.
off, Sarge.
This way.
Cute. Oops. Not really is.
I'd say we redecorated the place nicely.
Don't know why Donnie grabbed that, but okay.
More bad news. Didn't I tell you?
Oh no. There's space for them to jump over it. Interesting. Okay.
Hit it, Leonardo!
Oh, he looks
Splinter.
so sad.
I'll cut you down, Master.
I must congratulate you.
It's the same guys we fought last night.
You passed your test with flying colors. Oroku Saki. But you may call me the Shredder.
A kitchen utensil?
You would be wise to lose your flippant ways if you wish to join the Honorable Foot Clan.
Why should we want to do that?
Because it was I who made you what you are today. If not for me, Hamato Yoshi would never have left Japan. I followed him to this country, where I gained my advanced technology, including my rare experimental mutagen. It was I who caused you to mutate into your humanoid form. You owe everything to me. Don't deny your destiny. Join me.
Does the phrase, go suck a lemon, hold any meaning for you? Let's cut him down!
Very well. I have my own mutants. Bebop, Rocksteady! Destroy them!
Oh, with great pleasure, Master Shredder.
Well, at least they learn manners, I guess.
You idiots!
The mutation didn't up their IQs any.
The fighting sequences have gotten much better. I will say that.
Come on, Splinter. We're checking out of this dump.
I just hope I haven't missed out on the action.
Those are so heavy. That would hurt the head so much.
Rest here a moment, Master.
You know, that was almost too easy.
I really wish you'd stop saying things like that. Didn't I see you in the Jungle Book?
What the?
Oh, this is ridiculous. We're never gonna stop those guys.
Yeah, those jerks belong in a zoo, not the streets.
Michelangelo, that's a brilliant notion. Come on.
The party's over here!
Now, for the final showdown.
Sorry, we'll have to take a rain check on that.
Now, you boys have fun together, and we'll be back to check on you in about 10 years.
Dumb. Those dudes are so dumb.
Afraid you missed all the good stuff.
Oh, well, that's just great.
Of course, you could get a shot of those two bozos.
Get back here and fight, you little web-footed creeps!
Oh, wow! Where'd those guys come from?
Come on, we must get Splinter home.
Let's take the van. I'm not letting you guys out of my sight until I've gotten the whole story.
Took you so long.
Me Shredder wants to have a little talk with you.
You couldn't maybe put us back in that cage there, could you?
Oof. So, thoughts. Because I was going to do thoughts there, but I decided to do thoughts here instead. It was cute. It was a good episode. It did explain a little bit of how the Shredder knew about stuff. Was it a satisfactory explanation? For my writer brain, no. I don't think that was a satisfactory explanation on like how they got mutated and how the mutagen got there. Nor do I think it's a good enough explanation for how the Shredder got all of his technology either. I wish they would have gone into a little bit more depth about like him meeting. There we go. I don't know why it froze. But anyways, as I was saying, I don't think that was, for my brighter brain, I don't think that was a satisfactory explanation for how the Shredder met the Krang, knew that Yoshi was down in the sewers, knew that like the turtles were the reason that got like mutated. Didn't even give a reason to why he dropped the mutagen down there anyways. Like, if he knew that the mutagen was just going to transform a person, why would he put it down in the sewers anyways? Like, why would that be his tactic to getting rid of his adversary? Like, was he hoping that it would do something different? I don't know. He didn't explain that. And he also didn't explain how he knew that the turtles got transformed. He didn't explain how he knew that Yoshi had turtles in the first place. Like, yeah, he showed that he had cameras down there, which helps, and it shows that like he's had those cameras down there for a while. Obviously long enough to know that that Yoshi was walking around in the sewers to warrant having cameras down there. There's just a lot of holes still that I wish would have been filled a little bit more, but also 1980s cartoon, made for kids, also on a time limit, because I think these episodes are less than 20 minutes long, less than 25 minutes long. And anytime that, like, whether or not I cut these out, I don't know, I might, but there's a lot of like parts where like it fades to black, and usually the fade to black is a good indicator that like a commercial break would have popped up between then. So they had an even more limited amount of space because like the commercial breaks had to be put in during their time frame. So like I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more. Who knows, maybe we'll get a little bit more in the third episode. That'd be kind of nice. Personally, I would have had probably a little bit more backstory, specifically like the Shredder getting all the technology and how he met the Krang to gain this technology and to gain the mutagen, and why he chose the mutagen to use on Yoshi. I would personally add that in just to give a little bit more depth about like why he decided to choose that method to get rid of Yoshi. Still a lot of little whole things that I would want to change. I would also probably change like the reasons why April almost got fired, considering that like, yes, he changed his mind about saying that she was the second best reporter that Vernon had, but still like, instead of being like, oh my god, the last time anybody saw April was they were getting attacked by a group of bad guys, and then all of a sudden she's not around for 3 days, and instead of like reporting that to the police, instead of like being worried, no, he's just a grumpy old man. I think that's supposed to be his character type, but like, I don't know. Sorry, I just cracked my knuckles. I don't know. I feel like Vernon will become annoying very quickly to me, because I'm not a big fan of characters being treated unfairly for no reason. And when they're treated unfairly for no reason, it gets on my nerves. And when it gets on my nerves, I get annoyed. And when I get annoyed, it makes me want to stop watching. And I don't want to stop watching because I'm actually like having a good time. I'm really enjoying watching these specific turtles because, like, yes, they're goofier. It's kind of nice having something a little bit more lighthearted to watch. I like watching things that make me happy. I'm not a big fan of crying. I'm not a big fan of like having those really big, deep, dark feelings that a lot of shows nowadays try to elicit. I don't mind it. I have to be in the mood for it. I'm usually more in the mood for something that will make me happy, make me laugh, which is specifically why I don't work in news, and I don't watch the news either, because if I want to be sad, if I want to be depressed, I'll just watch the news or I'll look outside. Here I can just sit in front of a screen and watch for like 20 minutes, depending on if I go on a rampage about like, or a rant, excuse me, not a rampage, but also a rampage, a rant about like a specific scene or something, like specifically when Splinter called the turtles my sons. That was so sweet. So sweet. I was so happy, and I was still very happy about that. So like, I don't know. That probably was my favorite part of the entire thing. They also didn't exactly like, I thought they were going to play into like them bringing up Michelangelo needing to like show more patience, but they didn't really like dive into that. And to me, that just like feels kind of weird. Like, yeah, they're training, but at least like in the 2003 version, the very first episodes was like hardly a spoiler. It literally happens within the first not even 10 minutes. Splinter criticizes all of his students about what they could work on, except for Leo, because, you know, Leo is the perfect student. But that's okay. We love Leo anyways. But, like, he gave pointers to Mikey, to Donnie, and to Raph. And this time it was only Michelangelo who got any type of criticism, which felt a little weird and very, like, nitpicky. And honestly, like, the way that they were showing the fight, it didn't really seem like Mikey was, like, rushing or anything. It just truly felt like they were sparring. I also think that, like, this is only episode 2. They're still trying to work out the personalities of the turtles. I did notice that the animation was a lot better, especially with the fight scenes. So I'm excited to, like, kind of see how that continues to progress, and maybe see the slight variations of art style that will be coming up in the other videos, because I know sometimes, like, depending on the artist in a cartoon, the art style does change a little bit. And I know a lot of cartoons, specifically, like, cartoons back in the 80s and, like, even in the 90s, continuity errors would happen, and it still happens today too. Specifically, like, if a cartoon is made by a smaller budget company, they might have multiple different teams working on it, or if they're on, like, a tight, like, we have to get this episode out by this time and this time and this time, they can't just rely on one studio to work on that, especially if they, like, want a smaller studio to do it. So there's going to be different, like, continuity stuff. It was very prevalent in like, Steven Universe, where, like, sometimes heights would change, sometimes some things were a lot smoother than the other stuff was, and that all just depends on the artist who's drawing those specific characters. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if they have similar artists and similar writers. It looked like these writers were the exact same as the first episode, but overall I thought it was a good time. That's one of my favorite things, is to think about, like, what I would have changed in the script itself to make it a little bit more in-depth and to make the characters feel a little bit more fleshed out, rather than, like, two-dimensional characters of, like, we're the heroes, we're the bad guys, we must fight. So why don't you guys down in the comments tell me what you guys would change in the script. I think that would be fun. And if you guys could also leave a possible like and subscribe to the channel, that will let me know that you guys are enjoying this specific type of video. I know I'm enjoying making it, even though this is only my second one. It just kind of lets me know that I'm not alone in that feeling, which would be kind of nice, you know? But anyways, you guys have a great day, great evening, great morning, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. I just hope you guys have a great and wonderful day, and I will see you all real soon. Bye-bye!